The Jen Weigel Show.
Good choice, Lane. 7:24 on the Jen Weigel Show. Go ahead, Britt. My son is here as our intern to go find the guest who's wandering around the 6th floor. Just go look around the 6th floor. Just go open the door and say, hi, are you here for the Jen Weigel Show? Okay. This is just rehearsal. It's okay. We're not on the air yet. The Chicago Paranormal investigators are here. What's going on? Your headphones are coming out. Okay, so we're having some technical issues. It's hysterical because the paranormal investigators are here, and so the camera's not working. This is because of interference. This is not because the battery's not charged up. You know, this is interference. What are you doing, Britt? My son is moving the chair. Good grief. Victor, another investigator, is on the horn. How are you, Victor?
Really good. How are you guys?
Great. Victor Castro. Yes, Victor Castro. There's some stuff going on already. Can we put Dave's microphone on? I'm not hearing Dave.
Hello.
There you are.
Okay.
Now, I understand, Victor, that you were at the house where Dave got attacked physically. So there was physical evidence of an attack as the investigators, the Chicago Paranormal investigators, were on the scene. You were there as well.
Right. It happened immediately as we entered into the residence, and I think Lori's going to be on here shortly, and she'll tell her side. But it was really funny. We, Jen's here with me. She's actually sitting next to me. We walk in with Dave after traveling a good 3 hours or so in the car, and we're all pale, right? It's the middle of winter, and as I look at Dave's neck, he has this huge welt on the side of his neck, and it's just getting more red as we're looking at it. But I noticed it as soon as we walked in, because to me it looked like a hickey at first. I'm like, what's on his neck? Dave, what's that on your neck? And he's like, what do you mean? I said, you have a big scratch on your neck.
Wow.
So I took a photo of it so that way he could see it right away, and he looked at it, and as we were examining it, the welt just got deeper or more pronounced, and it was there for, I don't know, how long was it there, like 10 minutes or so?
No, it was there the whole investigation. Once we left the premises, all the markings disappeared.
Wow.
Oh, there you go.
Once you left the premises, and we've got, oh my goodness, Lori is on the phone, LoriAnn, who is the psychic medium who was with you on this investigation. Welcome to the program, Lori. How are you?
Hello, I'm great. How are you? Hi, guys.
Hey, Lori.
Hey, Lori.
It's a reunion. So now, Lori, what's your version of what happened to Dave when you saw the physical markings on his face and body when you were here at this paranormal investigation?
Well, this is actually my house.
Oh, my gosh. Well, okay, so do you normally have that kind of activity?
Well, the reason I called them, number one, besides working for them, I trust them implicitly, and I was having a lot of activity, but I'm a medium, so I generally have this activity at my house wherever I live. However, in this case, it wasn't very nice, and I knew that prior to calling them and saying, hey, guys, let's do my house. Mm-hmm. So, it was really strange. They walked on, like, oh, I'm so excited to see my crew, and, they walk in, and it was, as Victor described, it was instantaneous. Wow. So, there were other really cool things that happened that night, too, that, I remember you guys do remember that piece of camera equipment being thrown up onto the landing.
I totally forgot about that. You're right.
Out of the bedroom, right?
Yeah.
It was thrown, like physically thrown?
Yeah, it landed by the front door.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
And this is your house, LoriAnn?
Yeah. It was that was.
You just feel more comfortable because you're a psychic medium?
It's no longer your house.
And so did you sell it? Did you get the heck out of Dodge?
I did.
Wow.
I did. We got some incredible evidence that night, so that was my house.
You remember the story I was telling you last time about the man leaning against the fireplace?
Oh, yeah, but tell our listeners who weren't tuning in. Got
Okay,
2 minutes.
this is at her location where there was a man she described leaning against the fireplace. Mm-hmm. It would go from the fireplace to her room, lean over her while she's laying down, and back to the fireplace. And especially Victor started figuring it out, and we linked that fireplace to this man's energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in the mantle?
We thought he was attached to it.
Attached, yeah.
because I think Lori was mentioning that she had found the mantle on the side of her road, and then she rehabbed it and then put it inside her house.
Got it.
And
Correct.
I think that night we actually took it outside.
Yes, we did. We threw it at a street corner.
Time to go, mantle. And that's a
do you guys remember?
Go ahead, Lori.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
If you guys remember, we actually had a still shot of the guy. He was wearing. Remember, he was wearing that robe-like thing, and he looked like he had a really long beard. He looked like a wizard or something. Do you remember?
Right.
We have a photo of him.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
yeah, we had a couple photos of things there. Yeah, it was a weird kind of a mixture of things that were going on there.
It sounds like it. All right, we probably got lots more stories like that. Victor, how long have you been a ghost hunter with the Chicago Paranormal Society?
Dave, remind me, but I don't really recall. It was probably 2012, 2013, around there. I was part of another team, and Dave and I we met together at a place out in Milwaukee. And
well, hold on, Victor. I'm going to let you tell this after the news. We got to get to some news and information. Can you and LoriAnn both hold on?
Of course.
While we do this, and then we'll be back. We've got the Chicago Paranormal Investigators here.
Right.
You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on ChicagoParanormal.com. Is that correct, Dave?
Yes.
Okay. We've got a party going on. So hang tight, everybody. And there's news and information now with Rob Martier in the newsroom.
The Jen Weigel Show.
Welcome to the chaos. Thank you, Tyler. You're so great. 312-591-8900. We are talking paranormal because we have the Chicago Paranormal Investigators in studio. They were here right before Halloween. We got a lot of traction, a lot of emails, a lot of texts, and now we have some calls. And joining us on the phone, we have Victor Castro, who is also a paranormal investigator with the team. And then there's LoriAnn Mann, who is a psychic medium on the team. Okay, so we were talking before the news that you guys there was something that you just started to talk about, Victor, and then we had to break. Yeah. So go ahead and start that over.
I was just starting off talking about how I met Dave and I joined the team with him. We met at a conference in Milwaukee at Brumder Mansion. Julie Carr, she has paranormal teams that come by from time to time to do investigations there, or sometimes she'll have some sort of business thing going on where she'll have like trick or treating, and it was like a whole party, and we were just part of it. And then I met Dave there, and
nice.
We had a good time, and we talked, knowing that he was a lot closer to where I lived, and I was getting the opportunity to do more investigations with him. I kind of, I didn't say jump ship, but things kind of dissolved with our other team.
Okay.
So
well, let's talk about those investigations, Victor. What are some of the most memorable ones for all of you? We'll kind of go around from Lori to Victor to Dave to Matt. So start with you, Victor.
Mine was Casa Madrid.
Okay.
And Dave knows why.
Yes.
There's a lot of good evidence that we've gotten there, but as a personal note, it was the one that affected me the most and kind of opened my eyes to a lot of things that I didn't think that were out there.
Okay. What happened?
So this place was kind of virtually unknown to the paranormal world. We got a call from a mutual friend that was investigating there, or had previously, and got really good evidence. And it just kind of fell by the wayside. I remember Dave called them and just said, "Hey, can we come by and talk to you?" And if I remember correctly, Dave, he said to you that he had trouble keeping employees at his establishment. And it was an old restaurant, and it was owned by Rocco DeGrazia. He was somebody that kind of took over the mob after Capone went to prison on the west side. And he had this restaurant. But now it was like a tire and rim shop.
Yes.
And
a restaurant turned into a tire shop.
Yeah, if you could vision the Sopranos, it was like the strip joint, underground tunnels, bars, you name it, gambling, all that stuff.
So what happened, Victor?
We had, I arrived late. There was a lot of things going on. When you're a paranormal investigator, you really don't get a lot of things that happen while you're investigating. And when you do, you just stop and listen, or you just put down the camera and you experience it. Right. And the entire time we were there, it was completely nuts.
It was
we were
nonstop,
places-
the first place ever.
Yeah, I remember when he first started taking me around. I got there late, like 11, and people had already been going through and doing some tours with the team by that time. And we had a good group there that day, I remember. We had close to 20 people. And Dave took me on his own to go through. And the very first thing that happened, I said to him, oh, my God, I feel like I was plugged into the wall. And all of a sudden, he had a full-spectrum camera that kind of illuminated the basement a little bit. And it died. And Dave said, oh, my God, again? I just replaced these batteries.
Right.
And, yeah, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, we had camera failure, battery drains. We had rooms that were tossed they were stacked 3 high. The top 2 flew off, and it was so cool because this is what the client was complaining about. He would always hear car rims being thrown downstairs, and when no one's around.
Right. Okay, that's pretty trippy. And did it scare you, Victor, or were you like, I made the right choice? This is my jam.
Well, at first, what was really weird about that is I put a tape recorder down on a stack of rims, and I walked away. It was really dark down there, so when I walked away, I was just kind of asking questions out in the open, and I said, if we're about to leave, if you can do anything, just knock over a stack of rims, just casually as I was walking around. It was like no more than 10, 15 seconds later, a stack of rims had fallen over to the ground. Aluminum rims falling on concrete is pretty loud when you're enclosed.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, that's a big thing.
It really startled me at first, but it didn't scare me because I had thought that I had disturbed the stack of rims when I put the tape recorder down. But when I walked over there to examine when the rims had fallen over, it wasn't that stack of rims that I put this tape recorder on. The tape recorder was still standing in there. And it caught beautiful audio of the event. And we have it on video. It's on our website.
And ChicagoParanormal.com. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay, hold on, Victor. We got to get to everybody else. We only have a few minutes here. So, LoriAnn, I'm just curious. You take part in some of these investigations, not all of them. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And how long have you been a psychic medium? Your whole life?
No, I would say professionally 15 years.
Okay.
Professionally when you're doing large events, gallery readings, casinos.
Right.
Things like that.
And so for anybody who just tuned in, we were talking to you before, LoriAnn, about how your house, incredibly haunted in Wisconsin, and you had the investigators up, and now you don't live there anymore because there was so much going on. But tell me one of the most memorable experiences for you working with the Chicago Paranormal Investigators.
For me, it's hard because I actually met the crew the same weekend and the same time as Victor did. And all at the same place.
Oh, got it.
So, and then we weren't intertwined, so it was interesting how we all ended up coming together on that one event. It was interesting. However, for me, I think it's the Karsten Inn. It's really hard to pick, number one, but I think it's the Karsten Inn. Jen, Victor's wife, her and I were sharing a room, and I remember her feet got, we were sitting there just, girl talk, and in our room, and her feet got grabbed, and she, flew to the other end of the bed, and I thought it was funny. She's like, this is not funny.
She's not laughing. Oh, my gosh.
But then it would have to be maybe half an hour, 45 minutes later, then it happened to be, and then it wasn't so funny either. But, however, there was many, many things that went on there that we caught that were just incredible.
Where is this place? Where is this place?
Kewanee, Wisconsin.
Kewanee?
Yeah.
The Carson Inn, it's called?
It was called Kewanee Inn, Karsten Inn. I think... I think it's still considered a Karsten Inn. I know the
Karsten Inn. It was like the
for sale.
Karsten family.
It's for sale. I'm shocked.
At least it was. I don't know.
Funny how that works.
But I had a brand new piece of equipment.
Uh-huh.
I just set it up, and we caught it on camera. I thought it was broken, but you could, something with force, whacked it from the table I had it set on. It did cartwheels and hit the wall across the hallway.
And all of this is on ChicagoParanormal.com. People can look at these. They can hear. I remember the one that had the gunshots, right? It was just a blank room. And you could hear the EVP of the imprint.
I have it here. I can play it for you.
Yeah? Go ahead. Pull it out. Is it on your phone? We might have
I have a laptop and speaker while you're talking.
Okay, while we're talking. All right, Matt, tell us one of your favorite memories of all of this.
I'd have to agree with Lori. The Karsten Hotel was... just a great location. It was one of the first big locations that I did with the group, and I came into this very skeptical.
Right.
Kind of that was my purpose, was to be skeptical. And I actually saw my first like shadow figure there. That was somebody.
You saw an actual shadow figure?
Yeah, there's somebody else.
If you moving furniture over there, Olson, what are you doing?
Yeah. Making a lot of noise. I'm trying to talk here.
It's okay.
So,
He's getting out the gunshots. All right.
So yeah, it was a shadow figure of me, and it was like 6 or 7 of us were hanging out in this hallway, and there was this investigator in front of me, Joe Kudo, I think was his name. He was right in front of me, and we were both looking in the same direction, and I saw, and I'm like, it took me a second to realize, but when I saw him react to the same thing that I saw, we're like, okay, you saw that too? He goes, yeah, it was like a shadow that walked across a door. We went in, tried to like recreate the shadow. Like this was like February in like middle of nowhere, Wisconsin. It was completely shut down. There were no lights outside, nobody walking. Plus, it was probably 2:00 in the morning. So us trying to like recreate the shadow that we saw, a person would have actually had to walk out of a wall into the room. And while we were in that room investigating this, there was like this huge like burst of light that we saw like in another corner, which was like really kind of freaking me out. It was like,
that freaks me out. I was helping out a Ghostbuster in a house that was being rehabbed, and there was all this activity happening, and I'm like, yeah, I can hang out. I can hold the sage. You know, burning the sage is a big sacred part of keeping an area clean. So I was holding the sage for this Ghostbuster that was in the basement where all sorts of crazy, awful stuff happened. You know, apparently some really bad, there was like a doctor in the neighborhood, I put loosely in quotes, that used to do really bad things in the basement, right? Oh. And I suddenly felt this incredible wave of grief, and then I literally saw like an orange ball kind of go across, and everybody there saw it. We all saw it. Yeah. And it was like, did you see that? You know, and then we couldn't get it. I just like, forget it. I'm not doing this.
It was anymore. It was like a strobe light in the corner. It was like so bright, and like I couldn't even figure out what it could have been. It was like it was pretty cool.
Pretty wild. All right, Dave, what do you got?
All right.
He's got his laptop, and now set this up.
This is an abandoned police station. I'm not going to say where it's at.
Okay. Because you are a cop and you want to save your brothers, but go on.
But, I didn't do the history on it, but I captured gunshots, which I believe is residual. And I found out later this used to be a gun range in this area.
Okay.
But you could hear 6 shots. And after the first 2 shots, you could hear a voice, a one-word voice. Maybe it says go. I'm not sure, but
and this used to be a target range, right? For training
in
for
the basement
officers?
of a police station. Yeah.
Okay, and so the reason behind why this might be picked up in EVP, electronic voice phenomenon, is because for so many years this is what happened in this place, and it's left an imprint.
That's what I believe.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, go ahead. Let's see if we can.
You got to put the mic over there.
You got to hold your mic. Yeah, put your mic over there, and let's just see. This is again, we didn't practice this, people, so this might really not work. Just bring the laptop up to the microphone and see. Usually it's easier on your phone. Okay, and this is on Chicago Paranormal.
Can you hear that?
Oh, yeah.
Just going to repeat it. I'll play one more time.
Okay. No, that's okay. Don't, because it's very staticky. We got it. So those are definite gunshots. And you got that by leaving something recording for a long time.
I remember it was 11 minutes, 22 seconds after I hit record. And that device in that room is the only one that record the sounds. All the other recording devices didn't capture it. Only that room.
Wow. All right. Well, LoriAnn, I want to get to you and give our listeners in the last couple of minutes that we have here, LoriAnn Mann, who is a psychic medium that works with the Chicago Paranormal Investigators. What can people do to protect themselves if they feel that their house is haunted or if they're having some issues? Burning sage, saying prayers, what kind of things, what kind of tools do you recommend in a couple minutes here for our listeners?
Sure. I think everybody in the crew agrees with what I'm going to say because we all kind of tell everyone to do it this way. We like people to sage and get rid of things in their own house and demand these things themselves, because you can hire someone to come in and do it, but you live there. You have to demand it to be gone. Yes, I can coach you into doing so, but it's as you say, Palo Santo, which is wood, that's sacred wood. The sage, dragon's blood oil above all your door frames and your windows. Sounds terrible, but it's just a lot of people use it as a perfume, but it works really, really well. I like for children, things that are bothering children, you take a piece of bay leaf, and you put the dragon's blood oil on the bay leaf, and you put it in all the corners of the room where the children are, as long as they can't get to it and harm themselves, obviously. Along with the dragon's blood oil around all the windows and the door frames. And the thing is intention of this thing needing to leave. And if it's not there in your highest and greatest good, it needs to leave and leave now.
Got it. And what's your website, LoriAnn, for people to find you?
Sure, it's psychiclori.net. Lori is Lori. So psychiclori.net.
Okay, awesome. And Victor, thank you so much for calling in. And are you an officer as well, like Dave Olson? Are you a cop or a firefighter like Matt? Or are you just like crazy in the head like everybody else who's a ghost hunter?
Yeah, I'm a little bit crazy. So I fit right in.
Perfect. Well, we are glad that you could join us for the party. So thank you, Victor, for chiming in.
Thank you,
Lori. Thanks.
And
Thank you very much.
Everybody, this is for people out there that are listening. If you need some assistance, I don't take this lightly. I do think that this happens. I think there are hauntings. I'm fascinated by the positive ones where there are messages for loved ones who are saddened by the death of somebody that they love very much. And I do think EVPs come through in that way as well. But ChicagoParanormal.com is where you can go to learn more about you guys, and also on Facebook. And Dave Olson, Matt Perry, thank you so much for being friends of the Jen Weigel Show. Hopefully we'll have you back.
It's awesome. Quick shout out, Pamela, Sarah, Shannon. Hello.
There you go. Anyone you got a shout out to at the station there, Dave?
I'm not going to give names, but thank you, coworkers, friends, and family for listening. And thank you out there for listening.
That's right, and for supporting what it is that you do.
Yes.
Your side jam, as we call it, because your real job is as a Chicago police officer, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you're proud, and you're also a believer that there's more going on than what we can see or touch or feel, and we have to just stay aware because knowledge is power. With more information, we get smarter. Or something, right?
Sounds good.
Sounds really smart. 312-591-8900. It's the Jen Weigel Show. Don't go anywhere.
The Jen Weigel